no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down. The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the
What
line.
a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gonna stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series live from EchoPark Speedway. Just getting ready, set to go underway here. I am Oscar Jensen, and I am joined by Jacob Zala once again tonight. And Jacob, it's going to be an intense race here tonight. It's a cutoff race. A lot of these drivers have things that they're going to need to do right and not have mistakes. And for some other drivers, it's pretty much all figured out. Obviously, those drivers that we'd be looking at would be Joseph Kazi and Justin Levine, at least two of the main drivers that have already pretty much secured themselves in, or have already secured themselves into the next round. I guess, what are you really looking forward to tonight, Jacob?
I'm looking forward to seeing the points battle with these guys under the cut line. You have guys like Bryce Shoemaker, Jim Foskett, Stoney Benefield, Keith Shoemaker, all really close under the cut line. Bryce Shoemaker -4, Jim Foskett -4, Stoney Benefield -6, and Keith Shoemaker -6 to the cut line. So I'm very excited to see how these guys fare out tonight at this super speedway of EchoPark Speedway, and see if maybe these guys can try and win this race and get their way in.
And that'll be the big talking point tonight, is seeing who can race themselves in, and that cutoff line is going to be very important, and we'll look at that in just a second. First off, though, this sun, I mean, it's there, and it's going to be probably a hassle going to turn 1 and 2. Let's take a look at this weather report. 85 degrees outside with 9 miles an hour to the west. Then our track temp is at 88, so a little cooler of a track than what we've seen in the past few weeks. Let me take a look at our race analysis real quick, too. 150 laps, 227 miles. First stage is going to be 75 laps, and our final stage is also going to be 75 laps. So split down right through the middle. Pit road speed 45 miles an hour. These guys have 3 sets of tires to change. That'll also be something that these drivers will definitely probably be wanting to have tonight. And then our estimated fuel window is about 42 to 45 laps.
A lot of laps here tonight. 150 at that. And we're not done with Atlanta after tonight, Oscar, are we?
No, we head back to the Legacy Atlanta next week. I believe it's going to be also a thriller of a race. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here. Row number 1 will be Justin Day and Reese Schaefer. Then heading down to row number 2 will be Reese Hamilton and Landon Matherson. Row number 3 will be Joseph Kazi, Colby Jackson. Row number 4 will be Aaron Kay and Jason Miz. Row number 5 will be Stoney Benfield and Jordan Berry. Row number 6 will be Brock Piper and Austin Edstrom. Row number 7 will be Jim Foskett and Justin Levine. And then through the rest, row number 8 will be Derek Garrison, Bryce Shoemaker. And then rounding out the field will be Keith Shoemaker. So the Shoemaker in the back will have a little bit of ground to make up. We'll go ahead and take a look at our point standings real quick. Justin Levine, Reese Schaefer locked into the next round. Joseph Kazi plus 44, Colby Jackson plus 32, Jordan Berry plus 26, and Derek Garrison is where it starts to get a little bit dicey. Only plus 13 for Garrison, Hamilton plus 7, Justin Day plus 4, then Shoemaker, Jim Foskett both below the cut-off line by 4 points, and then Stoney Benfield and Keith Shoemaker both as well, minus 6 points. So that cutoff line, that's going to be a hot thing to watch tonight.
Yeah, I agree. The cutoff line is going to be an awesome show. I'm excited for these drivers to get it underway. I think this is going to be one of our better super speedway races as the season goes on. With not a lot of races left, not a lot of super speedways left, I think one of the best, because Atlanta Super Speedway or EchoPark Speedway, whatever you would like to call it, creates some of the most fantastic super speedway racing we've ever seen since the reconfiguration of this track.
And it being a super speedway, you know, it's going to definitely open up a lot of doors for a lot of these drivers. And I will also add, we'll have to wait and see if maybe one of these drivers can either advance themselves through to the next round or get their first win in the season. So far this season, it's been a Joseph Kazi and Justin Levine show, both with 5 wins each. So see if maybe somebody can dethrone them from that win streaks that these drivers have going. Pace truck gonna go pull off of the racetrack. Starters got the green flag in hand. Into the restart zone, we're off and racing.
Oh, almost wrecking there. That's a 24. Justin Day, and he's going to come back across the track, and a big one early on lap number 1. That is not what you want to see if you're Justin Day.
Wow. Just as that was going so smooth, like you said, early implications here for Justin Day in this 24, who started on pole. So this is really a heartbreaking start to his race. And that truck is absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, and luckily for him, he'll have a quick repair to go through, but that is not what you want to, something you want to use early. And unfortunately for him, he's going to have to use it here on lap 2 of 150 of this long super speedway race.
And I was talking to Justin Day before the start of this race, and I think I'm not sure if Colby Jackson also got involved with that, but I was talking to Justin Day at the start of this race, and I was asking him what he needed to do to either be above that cutoff line at the stage or just make it out of this race in advance. And he said he really needed to get stage points and to be able to not lose ground to these other guys that he's racing in. This is definitely going to be hurtful to his chances at maybe getting some decent stage points. Looks like he's staying out for the time being, so not sure if he's going to elect to come down pit road or not, but this is hard for Surly. Let's go look at quick.
Yeah, it looks like the 4 of Reese Hamilton maybe gave him a little push, and it just offset Justin Day's truck, and he just got to the apron and wasn't able to save it. That's kind of what it looks like to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'd say that, these trucks are so aerodynamically finching whatnot, and it does look like there was definitely some contact right there. We'll slow it down here and take a little bit. I mean, he definitely was in a bad position. He had the 73 of Colby Jackson coming down on him, the 4 on his back bumper, and honestly, there probably just was. I don't really put that on Justin Day. It was just he was put in a really bad spot, and unfortunately, almost had it saved and then went around right there at the end.
Yeah, that was definitely not on Justin Day, but I definitely think that overcorrection at the end hurt more than it helped as well. Definitely brought some other drivers into the accident that didn't need to be, but those guys will have a fast repair. They'll get back going, and we will see another restart early on in this race.
And you make a good point here too. Obviously they get a fast repair. You don't want to have to use it on lap 2 though, or lap 1, I guess I should say. And at this point in this race, if you're a cutoff driver like Justin Day, I don't know if you actually want to take your fast repair, and I don't think he did. He might have, but you really don't want to have to use it. But you also got to get the point. So it's going to be interesting to see if Justin Day actually did decide to use that fast repair or not. We'll keep that updated, but I would be surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't elect to take it.
Yeah, I agree. If he didn't take it, then that is going to be a decision that may hurt him in the long run, but we will see as we get ready to go green here.
Getting ready to go green once again into the restart zone. Green flag, we're off and racing once again. This time a better start so far for that leader of Reese Schaefer.
Yeah, that 17 of Reese Schaefer is playing with house money at this point. He has nothing to lose being up front here at Atlanta Motor Speedway or EchoPark Speedway. So he is going to continue to run out front. Aaron K, 3 wide with Joseph, almost 3 wide with Joseph Causey. And I couldn't quite see who the 19 truck was there. But almost 3 wide. But we stay 2 by 2 here.
If you take a look at the ticker that just popped up, all these drivers in yellow are playoff drivers. Oh, and actually it's messed up again, so that didn't go too... That got messed up pretty quick. Well, these yellow highlighted names are playoff drivers, white highlighted are not playoff drivers.
That is correct, and the 19 was Justin Levine. running a different paint scheme than I'm used to. That's why I couldn't recognize that 19 truck there. But he started out back and is already up inside the top 10. And that's something that he does time and time again. Starts at the back and goes out front. So I will apologize to you, Justin, for not realizing it was you. But you're doing good out there, going from the back to the front already.
And time and time again, like you said, Levine he might start from the back, but he sure will get up there to the front fairly quickly. One driver that is up there, Jordan Berry, leading that high side on the outside down this back straightaway. He's got Joseph Kazi behind him, and he's looking good. He's got a fairly decent run here with help behind. We'll see if he can get the run off the exit of turn 4 and see how much momentum this will carry him to the start-finish line.
Jordan Berry, one of those guys who wants to get a win in this series. We'll see if he can do it here. It's still early, lap 9 of 150, but he's going to take a run and try and go get that lead and maybe even lead a lap. We'll see if he can get it. Kazi pushing hard behind him.
And that inside lane, looks like we have a third lane going, right as I was going to say. That inside lane was a little mismatched there, and now they're fanning out to 3 wide in the front straightaway.
Yeah, and it's going to be a battle between these guys tonight. Every single one of these drivers wanting to win here at EchoPark Speedway. Justin Levine and Colby Jackson making a run at things early, and these guys are going to be guys that you're going to see out front, the 19 and the 73, especially at this super speedway. You're going to see those guys out front a lot tonight.
It looked like Miz was maybe looking to the inside. Now goes to the outside of Reese Schaefer, trying to look for the race lead. Now the 8 car of Landon Matherson coming down to help Schaefer, as Miz had the run, just wasn't able to get it 100% worked out, and he's going to have to get some help from Jordan Berry down this back straightaway to lead a lap. It looks like he will just barely nudge in front of the 17 as they're squirrely behind him. I think that's I'm not sure if that's Edstrom up high.
Yeah, that was Austin Edstrom. Colby got him into the wall a little bit, pushed him into the wall a tad bit, but they were able to keep it maintained and not cause a big wreck there. So good job on them for keeping it maintained. As Justin Levine is going to take it 3 wide with Colby Jackson behind him and Edstrom behind him. So now we're going to see some 3x3 here at Atlanta, or EchoPark, whichever you would like to call it.
And a little bit of a moment right there for Jason Miz in that middle lane. Had a little bit of another moment right there again as well, and I think Barry recognized that and led off and tried to make it so that Miz wouldn't go around there, but that was almost sketchy off of 4.
Yeah, Miz almost going around, able to save it, keep it clean, as now you see the 19 and the 73 of Justin Levine and Colby Jackson side by side with the 17 of Reese Schaefer and Landon Matherson. And like I said earlier, these guys you're going to see out front. If there's anyone that knows how to win super speedways, it's that 19 truck of Justin Levine.
Mostly settled in for the time being. Little squirreliness further on back. I think that's Reese Hamilton to the inside. Tried to make it squeeze in there. Able to get it worked out, but these guys are pushing the limits here early on and trying to get everything that they can here. Oh, and a wreck.
Oh, we're going to see a wreck. And it's a big wreck here. Oh, they saved it.
Still sort of wrecking, not sure what's going on, but
wow, what? That was crazy. That wreck stemmed for like 5 to 10 seconds, maybe longer. I was not expecting it. They had looked like they had all saved it for a minute, and then it all just went to chaos.
Wow, that was I have to agree with you there. I thought for sure that was saved. I mean, it looked saved, even though there's a little bit of contact right there between Colby Jackson and I can't remember who. It might have been Matherson, but it looked saved and then not so much. and that's heavy front end damage to the 73 machine now. He's going to limp it around, and I think Matthew had a tow from that, so heavier damage to that 8 truck, not so much to the 73. Well, still a significant amount, but not towing amount.
Yeah, and that was a big wreck. The 73's got some damage. We'll see if he can get it fixed or if he has to use his fast repair. One thing I would like to mention here, we haven't talked about it yet. The 54 of Bryce Shoemaker unfortunately dropped packet loss early into this race, and that has put him 14 laps down. So unfortunately for him, I think his night is over, and we will not see him advance into the next round of the playoffs.
Heartbreak for the 54. That's definitely unfortunate. I mean, you can't really do anything when it comes to connections issues, as it's out of your control, and it always sucks to have that happen because, you know, from talking to him, it sounded like he was pretty much ready to go race his way into the next round. Unfortunately, does not look to be the way for tonight's race. Let's go ahead, though, and take a look at this incident real quick. So started here with Colby Jackson, and I think that's Schaefer. I'm not sure if he...
Yeah, it looked like Jackson tried to squeeze into a hole that was not there and came a little bit down more than he might have thought he did on Reese Schaefer's nose, and it just kind of caused a big wreck after that.
Just hard hits right there, and then it looked like they gathered it up, and I'm not sure what was going on right there, but little beating and Megan some more, and the 8 and the 73
The 8
around
blowing his engine there.
A nice job by Reese Schaefer, though, to hang on to that down below in the 17. I think he split the middle right there and was able to get checked up. It doesn't look like he has any damage, really, to that race truck.
Yeah, great job by him. I don't see as much damage as I thought there might be. So, yeah, that's a great job on him. Keeping it clean, keeping the truck clean, and getting through that with minimal damage as possible and not having to use a fast repair.
So the second early caution in this race at lap 15 brings this field to probably about a half a field of clean trucks at this point. I mean, a lot of these guys have actually gotten in either that first wreck or the second wrecks. And like you mentioned, Shoemaker in that 54, obviously with those connections issues, the only driver who's really multiple laps down. Landon Matherson still sitting on pit road, so he's 3 laps down now, and a little bit of a shakeup up at the front now is Jim Foskett, Jordan Berry, who make up this front row, and then Jason Miz and Colby Jackson in that second row.
Yeah, and Jim Foskett out of the cut line by 4 points. So a lap led and some stage points. You're going a long way if you're Jim Foskett here, but it's possible.
We'll see what this 47 truck can do on this restart as the pace truck pulls down onto pit road. Getting ready, set to go green racing. Once again, we're off and away.
Jordan Berry going to slot into line behind Jim Foskett, and Jason Miz going to take the run and go to the outside with Colby Jackson in the 17 of Reese Schaefer. So those trucks don't look like they had as much damage as we might have thought, as Colby Jackson's going to push Miz to the lead.
Miz to the top spot, Foskett back to 4th. Jackson now to the outside for the race lead. And he's going to clear him by a pretty decent amount right there.
Yeah, it didn't look like Miz had a chance at all to defend that, and he did not. Colby Jackson taking the lead, and now Reese Schaefer with Jordan Berry in tow, right behind Berry, Justin Levine.
Colby Jackson up at the front, really not surprised by that. He's really good at these restarts and being aggressive in taking that truck to the front. Schaefer back behind with the pushes, and now Foskett, who started there, is back to 5th. Levine to his outside, although Foskett sitting in a pretty good position, and a lot of his playoff competitors have had early issues. Justin Day, Bryce Shoemaker, 2 of them to be exact.
Yeah, and this is helping out Jim Foskett if he can stay up where he's at and get some well-needed stage points. He might just somehow make his way into the playoffs, as he got really close to getting into the 9 of Jason Miz there. That was close off of 4. And there we go. We're going to see him go around again. Jordan Berry into the wall hard.
Jordan Berry up against the wall. No caution, though. They're going to keep it green, and Colby Jackson actually now going around, and now we see a caution.
Yeah, I don't think I can see these guys racing any less aggressive throughout this race. This is going to be the most aggressive super speedway racing we are going to see tonight.
And after a caution just at lap 15, another caution coming out here at lap 22, and this time it's gonna not involve as many drivers, but it is still gonna involve a handful of drivers, and Colby Jackson involved in this one again, though I think he just went around for a spin, so not really any damage looks like to him. The only other driver that really got the worst end of that would be Jordan Berry in this 7 truck, who was looking to be strong here early on and now has heavy right side damage.
Yeah, but luckily for Jordan, he got that caution, so he's going to be able to stay on the lead lap and probably use his fast repair. I would imagine that is what he's going to do here. So luckily for him, he got a caution, didn't lose a lap, is going to pit with these guys here, get a fast repair, and keep on going.
And let's take a look here at this incident once again here involving Jordan Berry and Colby Jackson. So everything was going right up until about turn 1 entry, and looks like Berry might have come down just a bit and went off the right front.
It looked like Berry was trying to follow Schaefer down to the bottom and just maybe didn't know he was not clear. I don't know what the call was there. Maybe he didn't know he was clear, but you can see he comes down to try and follow Schaefer, and he wasn't clear and gets into the wall.
Yeah, and that's just, you know, that you just want to be able to so badly get behind that driver that you're following, and unfortunately sometimes you just don't have the room to make that gap, and that's what we saw right there. And like you said, thankfully he got that caution to come down pit road and get that damage fixed, but also he unfortunately got damaged. So Jordan Berry gonna have to have some luck here to not lose too much in this race, but right now, I mean, it's still a long ways to go, and we're only 24 laps into this thing, so I wouldn't be too concerned.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. We've already seen 3 cautions in 24 laps, so these guys are going to continue to race more aggressive as this race goes on.
Looks like Justin Day is continuing to come down pit road and get some of that damage fixed, and it doesn't look like he took that fast repair, so electing to save that fast repair, which, you know, I like that, and I think having that incident on lap 1 you know, that's too early to have to use a fast repair. You want to be able to use that fast repair later in this race in case we do get a caution with maybe under 20 laps to go. You decide to take it, maybe even 10 laps to go. You know, obviously that's going to be up to that team as to when they want to take it, but definitely don't want to have to use that fast repair early, and you might lose a little bit of time and speed here in this first stage. But I mean, so far you might have to be looking at the bigger picture of trying to win the race.
Yeah, I agree. There is still a lot of race left. Again, like I've said, 3 cautions, 24 laps. These guys are going to get even more aggressive as this race continues. So you definitely want to try and stay A, on the lead lap, and B, get as much damage fixed as you can without using the fast repair before you need to.
And let's try this once again. Reese Schaefer, Austin Edstrom making up the front row. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again. This time, another great restart by Schaefer, who has the 9 truck of Jason Miz behind him.
Jason Miz right behind that 17 truck, and he is doing a pretty good job so far tonight. As we're going to see the 87 of Austin Edstrom go to the outside, he's going to try and find some drivers to help him get to the lead, as there's really not anyone behind him right now.
He made that jump up, and unfortunately nobody went with him, and now he's going to have to wait for Justin Levine in that 19 to get to his back bumper. But that's not ideal for what you want to have happen when you step out of line to try and make a move. It's awfully lonely when you see nobody come up behind with you. So he's got some help now, but I'm sure it didn't feel good in the moment when he saw nobody behind him for a ways.
Yeah, he was looking for somebody behind him, but Justin Levine picked him up, and so did Colby Jackson, and these guys are going to try and make their way towards the front of the field.
Levine, one of the dominant drivers this season, and I'm sure if you've got him behind you, you're probably, I mean, we saw them have a little bit of a tangle up last week at Texas, but I'm sure these two are probably thinking bigger picture here tonight and are obviously trying to work together to get that outside lane moving. And if anything, the 87 might want to jump down, and yes, he does, because that lane wasn't really getting the momentum that they needed, and definitely needed something, or at least some other thing to happen on that high lane to get it going.
Yeah, he needed to get a run, and he went to the bottom to get a run from the truck in front of him, which I believe was Gator Blaine and Matherson, and now here we go. They are going towards the front. That run helping them big time, as Reese Schaefer is starting to look to his right side, and he's going to see the 87 DeWalt truck catching up to them quick here, side by side. Reese Schaefer goes to block the top side.
A block on the top side. That's going to stall out that top side momentum, but now Schaefer back to the bottom, just doesn't have any help down there, so he had to make a late move to slide back up in front of the 87, and boy, was that close right there.
Yeah, that was close. I thought there was going to be a wreck stemming from that, but Reese Schaefer doing a nice job keeping everything calm, maintaining speed, and making sure that these guys didn't wreck. And I think all of these guys in a line here, we're starting to see a lot of teamwork going on here up at the front.
And just as he said that, the 87 was able, oh, a moment right there for Levine almost. The 87 was able to get to the outside of Schaefer. Now Edstrom gonna lead the way on that top lane, and he's got good help behind him of Levine and Jackson behind him. See if they can break up Schaefer's little thing that he had going, and right now they're carrying a lot of momentum on that high side.
Yeah, that high side working really well, as now they're going to go to the bottom, and they are going to take the lead. Austin Edstrom and Justin Levine leading at Atlanta Super Speedway. And these drivers are doing a great job this run, the start of this run, at keeping it a little bit more clean, a little less aggressive, and logging some laps here.
And while those guys are racing here for third position, I mean, Edstrom and Levine have kind of put a little bit of a gap between them and the rest of the field now. That's not ideal to have happen, but for them, it's probably a good thing that they're not having to deal with what's going on behind them, because they are racing super aggressive here for third place. Colby Jackson's not really giving Schaefer any room to work with and has been leaning on each other the past, I'd say, lap and maybe even lap and a half.
Yeah, these guys are going to lean on each other all night long, and that's going to help Justin Levine and Austin Edstrom pull away a little bit, but they're still going to get pulled back in. But these guys are doing a masterclass at keeping it out front, farther away from the pack right now.
Colby Jackson finally able to get around Schaefer there with help from Bryce Shoemaker in that 54. That 54 is 17 laps down, so not on the lead lap, but still out here to race, obviously, and he's probably going to be more of a team player at this point and trying to help out his teammates. I know one of them is Derek Garrison directly behind him. The other is Justin Day a little bit further back with that damage that he received early in this race. So, you know, as your role as a team player, what really is that job to do, and how can you help out another driver who's maybe not fully locked in like Derek Garrison?
Well, I think you want to try and get them as close as you can to the front, get those stage points, help them get those stage points any way possible. You know, you got to try and win a stage here if you're one of these guys under the cut line. So getting them to the front is going to be the most opportunity that the guys under the cut line can get. So we'll see if any of their teammates help them out here shortly.
And some aggressive pushing up at the front, and like you said, you know, I think definitely trying to get the stage win is a factor, but there's really nowhere to go right now. I mean, you see these guys, they are locked up and really bumper to bumper, trying to make some passes here and there, but for the most part, you really don't have anywhere to go.
No, there is nowhere to go. These guys up front are going to try and maintain the lead as best as they can and not lose it. I've seen it before from some of these guys up front. They want to make sure that one of these five trucks can win this race tonight.
Levine's searching low, searching high, then back low again, and he's going to be even with Colby Jackson there at the line. And now Edstrom looking to make it 3 wide for the top spot. Not sure if he'll make it work, and he's still there. So just as I said that, they're 3 wide for the race lead down the back straightaway.
And Reese Schaefer going to go with them. We see Bryce Shoemaker pull out of the pack, but 3 wide. Reese Schaefer, Colby Jackson, Justin Levine getting a little loose, coming, almost got into the 73 there, as Reese Schaefer is now going to fall back in line. Good job from not going to and causing another accident.
Yeah, that was a really close moment right there. That could have been way worse than it was, and that was some of the best drivers right there understanding the situation and just giving each other enough room to figure out what they needed to do. And as I say that now, Levine might have just moved Edstrom up for the top spot.
Yeah, and he is going to do that time and time again tonight. We definitely haven't seen the last of that. Justin Levine, one of the more aggressive super speedway drivers, and you know, he's aggressive, but he wins. And he's going to do everything it takes to win here again tonight and make sure one of these guys below the cut line or even above the cut line can't win a race tonight.
And aggressive is what you'll need. And as we say that, you see Colby Jackson dive to the inside in 3 and 4, and he's going to lead the lap at the line. And I think Colby Jackson and Justin Levine, I mean, those are probably one, if not two of my picks, I should say, to win this race. lap truck of Justin Day coming up. They're going to work around him as Colby
that
Jackson
was
with the
not
late
good.
move. That was a late move right there. That could have been really bad.
Yeah, I don't know why Colby Jackson made that late move, but it worked. It was a little late. I know Austin is probably not that, but it is a move that worked somehow, some way, and we are still green.
Oh, a little bit of a nudge right there between Jackson and Levine. And, you know, if your spotter says clear high, you better take that, because if not, you have the opportunity to get swallowed up. And that's a big thing at the super speedways that a lot of these drivers have. Some of these guys like to use an actual spotter, as Miz washes up just a little bit right there. Some of these guys like to use an actual spotter, which is a little bit more reliable than the in-game spotter, as Levine might have hit the wall just a bit right there. They're 3 wide for the moment, going into turns 1 and 2.
This does not look good. Jason Miz on the apron, a little loose on the apron. Is going to come back up onto the track and not get into anyone. Great job on Miz's part, not pulling up onto the track and causing a massive wreck. But that is going to allow these top 3 to get away a little, top 2 to get away a little bit here. Not as much as I thought it would.
Still separated a little bit in. I mean, honestly, this is probably going to be the one time that we see a lot of these guys single filed out and a little bit of a gap between them. And as I say that, Colby Jackson into the wall a little bit after a block there from Levine.
Yeah, Colby is going everywhere on the track tonight. All over the place. We'll see that 73 truck is the 87 wanted to squeeze in, just couldn't quite get there.
Almost had that gap made, but just not enough room there. And boy, these guys are cutting some of these gaps and blocks pretty close. And just look at the handful that Levine has right now. That truck is all over the place. That back end is really coming out from underneath him, and he's still keeping that thing pointing straight, but you can see the handful that he's having to work with here, as that 16 also on the top side also has a handful right there off the exit as well.
Yeah, and he was, unfortunately, didn't have anyone to go with him. But look who's back in the mix. That 47 truck at Jim Foskett back up in the top 5. He's one that's outside of the cut line. Some good stage points here could really go a long way for that 47 truck.
We'll see what he can do here, because Jim Foskett, he may be one of the quieter ones, but don't count him out, because he can show up when he needs to show up, and right now doing exactly what he needs to. Like you said, he's just kind of right there outside the picture. I think he's kind of laying back a little bit to try and let these guys decide if they're going to junk it here or not. And really, I mean, even if he finishes this stage with where he's at, that would still be some valuable points that he'll need. And obviously, he wants to get everything that he can, but you don't want to wreck it. You've already got a lot of your championship contenders in a box, and they've kind of, you're sitting pretty right now, and you don't want to have to force yourself to do anything that you wouldn't have to do later in this race. And that's also another good topic to bring up, because I was doing the math, and I'm not quite sure if these guys can make it to the end of this stage without having to pit one more time after that last caution at 22. I think they might need to pit once. I'm not positive. I'd have to rerun that math, but that could also be a big thing that we'd have to watch out for here.
Yeah, we could see some pit stops sooner rather than later. We shall see. I'm not quite sure either on the math on that, but it would be interesting. It would make for an interesting run to the end of the stage if there were some pit stops that might have to be involved.
And this track has such a unique pit road to get on and off of. I mean, it's changed where you have to enter. The exit is kind of the same thing from where it used to be at Legacy Atlanta. It's just you're carrying a lot more speed, and you don't really have the grip down there. You never really had the grip down there, but for a super speedway, you don't have the grip down there that you're really accustomed to. And a lot of the times you can see guys have issues with entering or exiting. Not really getting it down to pit road speed, but really getting on or off of pit road can be a really big issue to watch out for. And if we do get a green flag stop in this race, you know, I'm kind of curious to see how these drivers manage that and how aggressive they actually want to push the issue.
Yeah, and well, luckily for these drivers, you have to enter the pit road down the back, so you don't have to get the pit road speed until all the way around turn 4 and at that exit for that pit cone in turn 4. So luckily for these guys, they have a lot of time to get down to speed and almost contact there between the 73 and the 17 of Reese Schaefer and Colby Jackson.
What a save right there from Colby Jackson. That was close. It looked like for sure he was going to go around right there, but able to hang on to it. I'm not quite sure how he hung on to that truck, but he hung on to it.
Yeah, he made it work, and it is still up front. Justin Levine, Reese Schaefer, Austin Esham, Colby Jackson, and Brock Piper, your top 5 at the moment, as Jordan Berry's looking to sneak into the top 5.
Jordan Berry right there, just trying to gain everything that he can. Meanwhile, up at the front, Levine leads him, Schaefer in second, Edstrom right behind him in third. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick side-by-side break, but you guys won't miss a thing. Again, the Showdown, Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series live from EchoPark Speedway. We will be right back.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the line.
Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right, come back. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series here from EchoPark Speedway. And a caution here for what maybe was a wreck, but then ended up being not a wreck. We'll take a look at it here right now so we can go over it. But I mean, you and I both agree that it looked like they had that saved, so a little surprised that that brought out the caution right there.
Yeah, I was a little confused too. I don't know why there was a caution, but I believe it is iRacing who throws the cautions. So I guess maybe it was a caution because Colby got a little sideways. I'm not too sure why the caution was called, but here we are.
Yeah, and that's kind of surprising, but also I don't want to take away from the fact that that was a great save by Colby Jackson right there. That was right in front of the field and could have been a lot worse than what it actually was. So great job by that 73 to hang on to it. Nice job by, I think that's Brock Piper right there in the 16 to also avoid coming back up on track and taking anybody else with them. So nice job by those two drivers right there.
Yeah, I agree. They did a great job being aware of their surroundings, not causing a bigger wreck than it could have been. So good job to those two guys, and we will see the 17 truck, I believe, of Bree Schaefer in the lead off of pit road.
So obviously with this pit stop right here, they'll be good to the end. We'll have a little bit of a dash here till lap 75, and you know, I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the aggression level pick up once again right here on this restart, especially with the guys that are needing to get every point that they can.
Yeah, I agree. There's no other way around it, or other way to say it, or other way to put it at that. I think these guys are going to be more aggressive even after the stage. The aggression has not slowed down, like I said, time and time again. And I don't think it's going to.
Reese Schaefer gonna lead this field into the choose, and Justin Day will be able to come around and get one of his laps back. Currently 2 laps down, but now he'll move to 1 lap down. So still some work to do here on that 24 to get everything comfortable and back on the lead lap, but still plenty of time to go in this race. And you know, just being right under halfway, I still wouldn't be too worried yet too much. You got to be able to be there once this second half of the race gets kicked off underway. And if you're a Justin Day fan, don't get yourself too worked up about anything. Still plenty of laps to go in this race, still plenty of time, but definitely, you know, just remain calm. And unfortunately, Bryce Shoemaker still 17 laps down. Like we said earlier, if you're just tuning in, he's more than likely not going to advance in this playoff unless some miracle happens. Unfortunate night for him, and really nothing you can do with those connection issues.
Yeah, and if you're a Bryce Shoemaker fan, you might as well go home. No, in all seriousness, unfortunate issues for Bryce Shoemaker. Connection is nothing to play around with, nothing that the driver can do, but just hope and pray that maybe you're going to be able to come back and get back into the race. But unfortunately for him, 17 laps down now, it's just going to hurt him.
17 laps down, but the rest of the field ready to get it going once again. We're racing. Schaefer with another good restart. He's got Levine behind him, and then Aaron K to the outside with really no help behind him. See what he can do right here. Still, he's going to get past there on the bottom with no help behind him.
Yeah, and huge shout out to Aaron K being up front. We haven't really seen a lot from him as of late. So seeing him up here in the top 5 is awesome to see.
Oh, 3 wide at the front. Schaefer got moved up just a bit off of Levine's front end, and now Edstrom gonna take that point away from both those drivers.
Aaron K got a little bit loose. Derek Harrison got into the back of Aaron K, and that is going to shuffle him all the way to the back. So, you know, a little announcer's jinx there maybe caused a little bit of that. But these 4, 5, 6 trucks racing hard. The 2 out front got a little bit away from these guys. But I believe Justin Levine and Reed Schaefer and all the guys behind them will reel those 2 in pretty fast.
That's Schaefer and Jordan Berry working together on that high side. Levine and, oh, what? I was going to say Brock Piper, but now Jordan Berry drove to the inside in front of Levine, so that switches that up pretty quick. And just like that move, things will switch up here fairly quickly as we're just under 10 laps to go in this first stage, and Edstrom trying to steal the thunder from these playoff drivers around him and trying to take those points away from some of these guys who desperately need them.
And he has been out front all night long, and it's been hard for these drivers that don't have points to spare to be able to get to Austin Edstrom. But man, has he done a great job out front here tonight. As we look on board the 19 for a second, Justin Levine running about 6th at the moment, looking to try to get back up front.
These guys trying to build up the run, and Levine now getting that draft off of Barry in front, diving to the outside. He's got momentum carrying him. See what he can do when he gets up to the back bumper of Colby Jackson, who is working with Schaefer at the time. And remember, Jackson has been aggressive all race, so wouldn't be surprised to see him step out of line, as he might have gotten a little loose right there when pushing Schaefer off of 2. And boy, Schaefer's got his hands full right now. He's working that truck up, down, all over the place now, diving to the inside of this 87 truck at the line. He's going to lead that lap in. Here comes Colby Jackson once again to the high side.
We are 3 wide for the lead here into turns 1 and 2 at EchoPark Speedway. Reese Schaefer getting pushed by Jason Miz, Levine pushing Colby Jackson, and I believe that is the 23 of Derek Garrison pushing Austin Edstrom. Colby Jackson taking the lead by himself with a little bit of help from Justin Levine. As Reese Schaefer getting pushed by the 9 truck of Jason Miz got a little loose, but he's going to continue to try and get back to the front.
Wow, Colby Jackson trying to make things work, trying to protect all these lanes, and now under fire from Levine once again. Schaefer to his back bumper. Levine not having the help that he needs to probably stay even with Jackson, and now Colby Jackson in. Taking the point as Schaefer got a little bit loose, and that's going to send Levine around.
And that will certainly be a caution. These cautions are a little weird because I get why there's a caution there. Obviously, he spun around, but he did a great job of just spinning around and getting it gathered right away. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive right there. I mean, honestly, if we weren't paying attention to it, we probably wouldn't even notice that he spun around. Really, actually kept a lot of that momentum right there and really didn't lose much at all.
And he's going to dive right down pit road.
And now I'm not sure if this is going to be the stage here or not. We might have... Yeah, I'm not quite sure, actually.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see, but what that caution does do is that 8 truck you see right there, he's going to be back on the lead lap and back into this fight. So shout out to Landon Matherson getting involved in the very first wreck, and now fighting his way back on the lead lap, and now has a chance to fight for a win.
Matheson, I mean, it's been an unfortunate season for him. He's been caught up in a lot of things that just have not gone his way this season. And he's had some good runs up front. Just, he's been caught up in wrecks here and there. And again, that happened tonight early on, trying to make this night turn around. And we'll see what he can do now that he's going to be able to get back on the lead lap. He's usually got some decent speed. He's just going to need to have some luck go his way here in this second part of the race, as Edstrom is looking to steal some points away from the competition here. And I'm still trying to check and see if this is going to be the stage or not, so we'll keep it here for just a second.
Yeah, this is going to be if this is the end of the stage, we're going to see a great run to the end of the stage. Still do not know quite yet, so I'm sure Oscar is going to do the work on the backhand to get that figured out. But the 87 truck of Austin Edstrom leading out front, doing a great job tonight of keeping his truck out front.
I'm not quite, you know, we'll have to wait and see here in a second. I unfortunately don't have the radio chatter on, so I can't hear or see anything on if this is a stage. So we'll either see if we get a caution here or not, and then if we don't, I'll get us our points for this first stage, and we'll see where we're about estimate at least sitting at for points. Obviously, things will not be official until the end of this race, so we can get somewhat of an idea once this first stage is figured out and we get some points up there on the board. Obviously, it would be a one-lap shootout if we do have a stage. So we'll see how this one lap goes here in just a moment.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a little interesting. A caution coming out right before the stage kind of messes everything up here. So as we get going back green, it's going to be Austin Edstrom, Jason Miz, Reese Schaefer, Jordan Berry, Derek Garrison, and Jim Foskett, your top 6.
Pace truck going to pull off. Field in the hands of Austin Edstrom. Getting ready to go green once again. Here we are, green flag racing. Edstrom with a decent launch. Schaefer directly behind, and those two are going to be clear of that top lane. Derek Gerson right behind them, trying to stay within margin.
Oh, Jim Foskett into the wall.
Jim Foskett, heartbreak right there. He's going to lose out on valuable positions here. Garrison trying to go high on Miz. Miz going to block. Now Edstrom, Schaefer throwing blocks here for the race lead.
And it looks like it's going to be Reese Schaefer taking the lead here. And yes, that is the stage. So Reese Schaefer with a late move to win the stage.
Wow, what a finish right there. And that was a little bit crazy, but also kind of sorted out crazy. And Schaefer able to nudge out with that stage right at the line. So great job by Schaefer to get those points and put himself in position right there when he needed to be in position.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jim Foskett, he lost out on some much needed points there. So that's gonna hurt his run to try and get back to, or get into the playoffs. We'll see if maybe he's still able to get it done here at the end of this race.
Now field gonna work their down pit road here. And those drivers who either got fuel only or came down pit road to get some damage fixed that last time will be able to come down once again and take whatever they need. So we'll give these drivers a moment to make themselves comfortable on pit road, and it looks like Justin Day, I think, should be able to get back on the lead lap here, if I'm correct.
Yes, you will be correct. Justin Day will be back on the lead lap. Landon Matherson stayed out. That's a new one. Looks like Landon Matherson will be our leader. And Colby Jackson will be second.
Colby Jackson is going to be one to watch here on this restart. Obviously, we've seen him be aggressive for so far here tonight, and you know, we still have just under halfway left to go in this race, and I wanted to tell Colby Jackson to maybe keep that truck in one piece so he's there at the end, but I also love seeing him be this aggressive and really not letting anything or anyone hold him back here.
Yeah, it is great to watch. It makes for some amazing racing. Granted, it does cause some things, like we saw some issues with Jim Foskett before the end of the stage there, but it is great racing all around, even if he's aggressive or not. As yes, Landon Matherson is our leader, Miz in second, Jackson third, Barry fourth, Piper fifth, and Levine sixth, rounding out our top six. As you see Schaefer and Austin Edstrom behind them, waiting in the wings, those two. Well, Oscar, I have to ask, lap 78 of 150, do you think we see some more cautions tonight?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we saw, or if that's what we see here. You know, I think, like you mentioned earlier, it's definitely just going to continue to ramp up, especially now that we've gotten this field regrouped back up once again. It's going to be interesting to see how aggressive these guys decide to be here. Getting ready to go. Green flag back in the air once again. We're off racing as Matherson gets that preferred inside lane jump. And now Colby Jackson slotting in behind him. Jason Miz now gonna make up that third truck on the inside as Jordan Berry directly behind them. Really not a lot going on that high side as now Berry jumps up in front of Levine, who is trying to get that outside lane going with Edstrom behind.
Yeah, Jordan Berry moved a little too far up to the top side, got a little bit of a run, and Justin Levine looking to maybe help him. No, Jordan Berry's going to go back down to the bottom side, and we're going to see some of these guys maybe able to file out a little bit. As Jason Miz and Brock Piper go to the top side, Miz now going back to the bottom. A little bit of indecisiveness here from the 9 truck.
Back here, Brock Piper, Justin Levine trying to make that high side work. Just not a lot of trucks willing to go up to that high side like we saw about 20-30 laps ago, and I'm not quite sure if guys are just trying to settle down for a little bit or if maybe there's just not enough momentum going on. But either way, a lot of these trucks single filed out for the time being on that bottom lane.
Yeah, I think these guys are looking to try and make it to the end here. Still a lot of laps to go. About 69 laps to go to be exact. 68 when we cross the line. So a lot of time for these drivers to think about their moves, think about their strategy, because again, we are going to have one more pit stop before this race is over. These guys looking, and you know, now they're side by side. As I say, maybe they're trying to save a little bit, save their stuff, and here we go. They're back to racing now.
And just like that, it switched up fairly quickly, and now Schaefer getting to the back bumper of Colby Jackson. He's going to help him out on the high side. They're going to remain side by side behind them. Austin Edstrom a little bit further back. He got shuffled back just a bit, trying to figure out where to go with Levine, who I'm sure those two drivers are just wanting to figure out some way to get around these guys in front of them and continue where they left off up towards the front, as things got a little bit scary right there for Brock Piper on that high side. Got a little squirrely right there for a moment.
Yeah, and that was probably because Justin Levine was right there on his back bumper. The arrow does not like that. Justin Levine gets tapped by Jason Miz, almost putting Edstrom in the wall. Great awareness by Austin Edstrom to not get into the wall there. Give all the room that he needed to give Justin Levine and keep it clean in the end.
And one of the big storylines so far would be a driver that we need to keep an eye on, who I think, if I was just doing the points correctly, would be the 75 truck of Stoney Benfield, who I think, if I did it right, is sitting right above the cutoff line as we speak after that stage end. So if you're the 75 truck, you've been able to hang on to your positioning all night as they're 3 wide up here for a moment, but you just need to continue to do what you've been doing. You've seen Foskett have issues, Justin Day have issues, Bryce Shoemaker have issues, so these guys that he's racing around have all had issues, and Stoney in this 75 truck just doing what he needs to do to get in at this point in time.
Yeah, doing a great job at keeping his spots, not getting into any of the accidents, and really getting points that he might need at the end of this race. So Stoney Benfield one to watch here, Jim Foskett right behind him, but these guys are racing aggressive. You know, we thought that maybe they would single file out, and man, I should have known that these guys were not going to race single file for too long, because they are almost 3 wide in a turn 3. They were for a second. They are. Schaefer, Levine, Causey, 3 wide.
They were for a moment. They still are down this front straightaway. That's Edstrom in the middle. Levine on the outside, who is now shuffled back into behind the 87, and up at the front, Matheson trying to control, but Jackson with help from Schaefer. They're going to go to the top side and try and take the point away from Landon Matheson on the bottom side.
Oh! Matheson, one of the guys who is not... Ooh! Almost wrecking out of turn 4 there. Again, as I was going to say, Landon Matheson, one of these guys who has not won in this series yet. He is hungry to win in the Sunday Night Showdown series.
Boy, look at how aggressive Colby Jackson was right there. He's all over the place. That rear end of the truck is definitely getting picked up from all the pushes and all the blocks he's been trying to do, as Schaefer just barely to his outside. Jackson's probably going to try and defend that, but I'm not sure if he's clear there on the outside, and Schaefer now going to be able to get to his outside, and Levine back there on that second row on that high side is now going to be able to help Schaefer in that high lane make a run on the outside. We'll see what they can do here, as that inside lane had a little bit of a bobble right there through 1 and 2.
Yeah, that inside lane with a big bobble, the outside gaining the momentum, and Reese Schaefer able to drop down to the bottom and take the lead. Now that puts Justin Levine right out front. Nope, sorry, Reese Schaefer is right out front. That put Justin Levine right out front on the top side for the moment, but Reese Schaefer going back up to the top puts Reese Schaefer to the point up front at EchoPark Speedway, as we see Colby Jackson on the bottom side trying to lead, do anything he can to get that lead back.
They're 3 wide once again. That's Edstrom now on the top side. Causey in the middle. Miz on the bottom, and these guys are just trying to get every spot that they can and are being very aggressive, but I like it. And right now it's putting on some great racing. You just got to be careful because a lot of these trucks look to be handling not the best right now, and we've seen a lot of big pushes come as well, so these guys are going to need to be cautious of that. And the more we get into this run, the more of these trucks right there as they are able to hang on, and they're still trying to hang on to it, but they're going to be 3 wide for the race lead into heading into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and you thought these guys maybe would fuel save a little bit? No, they're not fuel saving. These guys are going all out every single lap. As we saw right there, almost got a wreck because of that, but great job saving it by everyone. And great job continuing this race without a caution as Justin Levine slides right up in front of Kobe Jackson. And there's the wreck. There it is. That'll be a caution flag.
Multiple trucks involved here. Stoney Benfield also around. I don't think he got any significant damage, but some trucks involved. Joseph Causey, Colby Jackson, Glenn Matherson with a bit of damage there. And I hate to say it, but we kind of saw that coming with how aggressive they were the past few laps.
Oh yeah, it was going to happen whether you or I liked it or not. There was going to be another wreck. We said there was, and here it is, lap 95. Caution flag for a semi-big one. It wasn't the big one yet. We haven't had quite a big one just yet, but minor cautions and some damage to trucks that probably didn't need damage.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this right here. So starting with the 73, the 8, and the 3 right here. And actually, it looks like Jason Miz might have washed up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. It looked like Miz washed up a little bit, got into the 3 of Joseph Causey, and Colby Jackson got the worst end of that, it looked like.
Yeah, Colby Jackson. Oh, and actually, it looks like the 75 of Stoney Benfield did get a piece of that outside wall with the front end. I'm not quite sure if there is a lot of damage to that, though. There might be, but it looked like he hit it pretty even and not too quickly. Take a look.
At it. Yeah, it looked like the 9 kind of just misjudged the tri-oval and went a little too far up into the 3 of Joseph Causey, and that just sent the 3 around and a couple others with him.
And that's such a tricky place on the track to try and just judge correctly, because that front straightaway is just, it's so uniquely designed. It comes up on you so quickly. You really, I mean, if you're behind another truck, if you're trying to make a move, it's just so hard to figure out where you are. And I know from when I was racing at this track, I didn't like the front straightaway. I'll be honest with you. It's just so oddly shaped, and you're carrying so much speed there that really you just don't have the room there to really make a mistake or any errors.
Yeah, no, driving here, the tri-oval was probably one of the worst spots to race, because when you're going that fast, you have to make a quick turn for the tri-oval, and it just, you move up so quick. And I think that's kind of what happened with the 9 truck of Jason Miz. He was trying to make that turn for the tri-oval, and it just pushed him up the track and got into the 3 of Joseph Causey.
We'll see how this restart fares compared to the other ones, although I would not be surprised if these guys are going to be aggressive again.
Oh no, we just lost the 87 of Austin Edstrom due to connection issues. So another one here tonight out because of connection issues. Excuse me. Can't speak for some reason. That is unfortunate for him. And he was up front a lot of this race, and that's just gonna, unfortunately, be the end of his night.
Yeah, that's. I'm not quite sure what's going on with a lot of these guys tonight. Unfortunately, that's the second connection issue, I think, on tonight's race. So, again, like you said, unfortunately for him, it's more than likely going to be a deal breaker for him unless he's able to get in here somehow very quickly.
I was gonna say, it looked like he connected very quickly, so he might get lucky and maybe go 1 or 2 laps down. And with the way these guys are racing, he could get that back pretty quickly.
Definitely, indeed, I can agree with that. I mean, like you said, these guys are racing so aggressively. You might even think it's the last lap with how aggressive these guys have been. Still plenty of laps to go here as we're getting set to go green once again. This time, Piper, Aaron K leading that front row. Brock Piper top side, going to be able to clear on the bottom, and now he's going to try and hold off this hungry field behind him. Joseph Kazi, Reese Schaefer behind on that bottom lane as well. The first truck up top is Reese Hamilton. Now Kazi jumps to the top side, so change that.
Yeah, and Reese Schaefer's going to be pushing the 87 truck, or the 37 truck of Aaron K. Got a little loose, and now he went right around the 37 of Aaron K. As now Joseph Kazi, the 2 Greg Biffle tribute trucks out front. That is awesome to see. You know, Greg Biffle, that tragedy that happened in December. These guys showing a lot of love to them, to him. Great to see those 2 trucks out front.
Yeah, it's always such a nice thing to see. I mean, Kazi has been running that paint scheme week in and week out, and I don't think he plans on changing it. Not only has it given him luck, but being a fan of Biffle and trying to pay your respects and just do all that you can to make sure that he's remembered. It's always nice seeing that truck out front, and it's even better when you're able to see it in Victory Lane, I'm sure, but I don't think we're going to see that paint scheme go away anytime soon.
Yeah, and a little bit of backstory to that. Kazi, a huge Cletus McFarland fan, and Cletus McFarland, friends with Greg Biffle, only grew his love for Greg Biffle, and it's just awesome to see that he's continued to run that truck in and out each week, and he will not, I can guarantee, will not change that truck. But as we continue throughout this race, Justin Levine to the outside, maybe. Nope, he's going to stay put for the moment. He's up now here. I don't know. He wants to go to the outside. There it is. Now Justin Levine to the outside with Jason Miz behind him.
That, you know, just like, you want to make a move, but you just don't know when you want to make the move. And I mean, really, the only one who actually knows how to make a move is the driver. So it's always hard to predict when these guys are actually going to make a move. And right now, I think Levine chose to make it at the right time because now he's side by side with Joseph Kazi for the top spot. He's got Miz behind him, who is so far doing an excellent job at getting Levine out there in front of Kazi, and I think he would have led that lap right there at the line. So that high side working together really good. That inside lane not so hooked up as that outside lane is off of turn 2 going down this back straightaway.
Justin Levine out front again here at EchoPark Speedway. One thing I want to bring to light, I'm not quite sure if these guys can make it on fuel to the end. I don't know if that caution was put out early enough for these guys to make it. So we shall see if they can, and if they can, my whole thought could go right out the window, but for now, I don't think they can make it.
Yeah, I'm going to
just
try and run that. Oh, a little bit of a, I'm not quite sure what Hamilton is doing right there, but that was a close call with Levine and those guys up towards the front there for a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say Justin Levine getting a huge push from Schaefer, got him wiggling down the front straightaway. That was cool to see him wiggle like that and be able to maintain the truck and keep it out front.
Kazi trying to control that high side and also inside lane with the hungry Justin Levine. These guys pushing and shoving as much as they can, and I don't think that these guys will be able to make it on fuel. So with the caution at 94, I'd say they're about 8 to 10 laps short, I'd say. So that'll be interesting to watch here. And again, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another caution, but if these guys are trying to base it off of green flag runs, then that'll be pretty interesting to try and watch here.
Yeah, I'll be fascinated whether these guys get a pit stop in or not, because again, these guys have been racing aggressive all night long, and I think a caution anywhere from now, Kazi into the wall a little bit, almost got the caution right there.
That was a close call right there for Kazi, and he's going to fall back into that third position on the top side. These guys are just giving it their all, and boy, is it putting on a show as Jordan Berry is sitting in this 7th truck in 7th position. Stoney Benfield in this 10th position as well. Those are 2 names that you should keep your eye on. But a lot of these guys up here are just giving it their all, as Justin Day up in the wall, maybe just a bit there as well.
Yeah, these guys doing everything they can. They, like you said, they're racing like it's the last lap. We're on lap 109 of 150, guys. You guys can take it a little bit less aggressive. They can't hear me. What do I know? They're going to keep going aggressive either way, no matter what, through the rest of this race.
Side by side for the moment, about 4 lanes, 4 rows deep, and these guys on the bottom side are pushing and shoving. Levine working great with Kazi on that inside lane. A little bit further back, these guys a little bit more calm, and Justin Day finally able to get back on the lead lap. He's sitting in that 8th position, and if I did my points right, he wasn't looking too hot right there after that stage finish. So look for him to maybe be aggressive and try and make some moves here in these next 40-ish laps.
Yeah, and you talk about Stoney Benfield being in the playoffs for the moment, and that's one guy that Justin Day's got to work to get around. So he's going to have to try and get around Benfield anytime in these 40 laps, as our 3 cutoff line drivers are all right in front of each other. Benfield, Day, and Bosket all right next to each other.
Oh, that was close off before right there. They might have gotten a little bit of contact, as now they're 3 wide. Piper in the middle, Miz up top, and oh, that was a close call right there. And I'm not quite sure if you can be any closer than that from being stuffed in the wall, three wide right there. That was scary.
Yeah, that almost caused the wreck. Again, these guys doing a great job of having the awareness to, you know, maybe you get into the wall, but they don't wreck and cause a big pile up here, and they keep on going, keep on racing, and they're just going to keep doing what they're doing.
Jordan Berry dives to that inside, trying to work around Levine and Schaefer for the top spot, and he's got Joseph Kazi behind him in a great push here down his back straightaway. Those 2 lanes are going to be even going into turns 3 and 4. Will Berry be able to lead a lap here and take the top spot away? Levine's going to side draft hard, try and pull him back, but Berry has the advantage for the time being, and Berry, I think, will lead that lap. Maybe not quite sure, pretty close, and we got a caution out on track.
Well, this changes everything. With the caution flag coming out here, these guys will all be able to make it on fuel, and the fuel strategy, gone, out the window, forget about it.
And I'm not quite sure if this was the 70. I'm pretty sure this might have been Colby Jackson. We'll see here in just a moment. Try and figure out who it actually was. Yeah, it looked like it had to do with Colby Jackson here, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at this here. So he's already around here, not quite sure. Oh, he's working with the 87 of Austin Edstrom here.
Oh, the 87 just got him loose, it looked like, and yeah, he just spun it around. Well, kind of spun it around. Didn't spin it around all the way, half spun it around.
Yeah, that's... just looks like maybe a little bit too aggressive of a shove, maybe not a line there, and got Colby Jackson out of shape, who hung on to it and then wasn't able to hang on to it, and almost actually got hit. I think that was a 54 coming off the pit road. Almost got hit there, but really nobody else was around him, so no harm, no foul. Just unfortunately for them is, I mean, maybe fortunately, they were a little bit further back behind the field, so it's going to allow them to catch up, but definitely not what you want to have happen, and they'll be able to get, I mean, Colby Jackson has some front end damage, so they'll at least be able to get some more damage fixed, but probably not ideal for the tires to slide it like that.
Yeah, no, not at all. And, you know, we talked about Austin Edstrom and his connection issues. He's only one lap down. So, great job getting back in here as quick as possible and only being one lap down, as I don't think he's going to get the lucky dog there because of that incident with Colby Jackson. So, he will pit. And now, he'll just have to get one lap back, and these guys have just pitted for the final time. There is time for Edstrom to get a caution, because these guys are now, if they weren't aggressive earlier, they're going to be extra aggressive now.
This is going to definitely be a interesting restart once again to watch. Obviously, just continuing to wind down these laps, and I'm really liking where Stoney Benfield is right now here in this 6th position, or what will be, I think, 5th position technically. But again, you know, like I've been saying, he's just continuing to do what he needs to do. He got in that one incident a little while ago, not really any significant damage, so able to keep it going. Just needs to continue to do what he's doing. The 88 of Keith Shoemaker right there in that 8th position, also doing what he needs to do. So that's going to be interesting to watch between Benfield and Shoemaker, who were not that far behind based off of points at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, great job from Stoney Benfield to be able to get himself into a position where he can maybe try and get in the playoffs. You know, Stoney Benfield, a guy who's not as fast as a lot of these other drivers, by any means, no disrespect, but he has done a great job maintaining his spots and being able to get himself maybe a playoff spot into the next round.
We will see who can get themselves into the playoffs. The next round, that is, as we are green flag racing once again, and Levine once again at the point. Now with Jordan Schaefer going at it for 3rd, and the rest of the field behind them, all coming with the head of steam down this back straightaway.
Joseph Causey, Justin Levine, and Jordan Berry on a little bit of a breakaway here. It's not going to be a breakaway for too long. The 75 truck of Stoney Benfield, 4th position. Now you try and make him. Do you try and make a move if you're Stoney Benfield? Maybe you try and go win this race. Because a win locks you in if you're Stony Benfield.
Jordan Berry also holding strong here in second, trying to get that win. Benfield, Justin Day, and wow, these drivers that entered below this cut line really are all right here together. All probably got the win on their mind. And oh, Justin Day definitely needing the points and the most points that he can get, as he really didn't get that playoff finish that he needed. And he's right behind his competition of Stony Benfield there on that high side.
Yeah, and if you're Justin Day, what happens if you push a competitor to the win? What happens if you push a guy that you're racing to the win? I mean, that would be so unfortunate for one of those two drivers if they pushed one of their playoff competitors to a win.
And that's, Benfield, Colby Jackson able to hang on to it. Oh, and Justin Day.
Oh, Justin Day with big hits. Taking some big hits there. The 37
Wow.
of Aaron K in that as well.
Another issue there for Colby Jackson in the 73, and this one's going to also collect Justin Day here, unfortunately. That was a pretty hard hit there on that outside wall, and you can kind of hear that truck struggling under the hood.
Yeah, that truck does not sound good, and if you're Justin Day, I don't know if he took his fast repair yet, but it looked like he did at some point. So if he did, that's unfortunate because that truck is hurting really bad right now.
Yeah, that race truck, and I think we've already seen him use his fast repairs, so this could be a deal breaker for his night, unfortunately. Half the field electing to come down pit road, half electing to stay out, and first truck in his stall is going to be Jordan Berry here. So a little bit of a switch up under this caution, and I'm a little bit interested to see what these guys decide to do here.
Yeah, probably going to get some Ford tires if you have them, some fuel, some Ford Goodyear tires and some Sunoco fuel here. And, I talked about earlier Austin Edstrom's connection issues. Well, Austin Edstrom's back on the lead lap. This caution put him back on the lead lap. So shout out to that 87 truck getting back on the lead lap as we take a look at the 75 truck of Stony Benfield. Didn't look like he got a lot of damage in that incident. So again, somehow scathing away, avoiding the wrecks, doing everything he can to get into the next round.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that wreck and see exactly how it's really started. Obviously, it has to do with the 73 of Colby Jackson, who, and I'm not sure if he got a little bit of a nudge. Oh, maybe, yeah.
Looked like he got a nudge from Brock Piper there in the 15 truck.
It looked like he might have been trying to shoot the mid. Unfortunately, he just got a little bit of a shove from Piper there, which shot him up into the 75. Then Justin Day almost had that cleared, went low to try and avoid him. Bam! Aaron K right into Justin Day, who had a hard hit. I mean, Aaron
Jason
K also.
Miz also got into Justin Day as well.
Yeah, that's... Take a better angle here from the top side, and yeah, it just looks like maybe tried to go 3 middle and got a little bit shuffled up in between the Justin Day, trying to avoid, and wow. Hard hits there for the 37 and the 24.
Yeah, and the 24 taking hits from the 37 and the 9, and wow. Well, if there was anything I had to say, Justin Day is was he still in the pit road there? It looked like he was still in the pit road, so that might be it for the 24 truck, and a great effort. Unfortunately, it's not going to go the way that he wanted here at EchoPark Speedway, but hopefully he'll come back next week and try again, even though he won't be in the playoffs.
And that is definitely unfortunate, because I think the more I do the math, I think it was Justin Day and Jim Foskett who are right on the cut line, and now Shoemaker and Keith Shoemaker and Stoney Benfield are going to be able to make up some spots, but we'll see how it plays out here as we're once again getting underway here from EchoPark Speedway. Levine leading them into turns 1 and 2. A decent jump by the top 3. Oh, and a little bit of a door bang right there, actually.
Yeah, a little bit of contact between Landon Matherson and Joseph Causey. Now they're going to door bang again off the corner. I don't know what's going on there, but maybe having a little bit of fun doing something. But Jim Foskett waiting in the wings there on the top side behind Landon Matherson.
Matheson leading that high side. Levine goes up to block. Levine just trying to oh, Matheson hang on to it.
Wow, Landon Matherson doing a great job hanging on to that one. It almost looked like Brock Piper and him were about to have an incident, a moment there, and great job, great car control from Landon Matherson, as now he's going to slot down to the bottom behind Reese Hamilton.
Made that gap open and work, and now these guys are shuffling around back here, trying to get every spot that they can, and just look at this mess. They're trying to get going, and that's Reese Schaefer back there in that 17 in that black and white truck on the top side, trying to get around with the 23 Derek Garrison. Jim Foskett directly in front of them too, and then Keith Shoemaker there on the bottom also trying to just hang tight and not lose too many positions or get in any other wreck that could cost them. Oh, and they're wrecking now.
Big wrecking. One, it looked like Reese Schaefer was a part of it. Hard hit for the 17 machine.
So, I might have jinxed it myself right there, because it looks like Keith got a little bit of damage.
Oh, it doesn't look too bad on the 88 truck. I can't really put my finger on it quite yet, but he might be okay, the 88 truck of Keith Shoemaker. But Derek Garrison, that whole right side completely, the whole right front fender completely gone.
Yeah, that truck is definitely hurting, and I think there's definitely something knocked out in that front end. You see it wobbling quite a bit there, just trying to limp it around here to pit road, but some heavy damage there for the 23 truck of Derek Garrison.
Alright, we will see some of these guys pit here. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad for the 88 truck of Keith Shoemaker. The damage may not be as bad as we thought.
Yeah, you know, there is some rear end damage there, but I don't think that's nothing that could potentially get fixed on this caution. I mean, I think there would be enough time for it to get fixed, and he should be able to get back out on track and be just fine, not have to take a fast repair. But obviously, not an ideal situation, and I apologize to Keith Shoemaker if I did any announcer's jinx right there, because that was not quite perfect timing to be talking about how he's been sitting pretty and then have him get up in that wreck.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes the announcers jinx things, and it always happens. We'll get a little bit of flack for it, but oh well. We're just here doing our jobs, watching these guys put on a great show.
from that angle, it looks like Reese Schaefer took his fast repair. I'm pretty sure. So that's
Yeah, he definitely he had to have there. That was a hard hit he took to the outside wall.
Let's go
So
back.
it does not surprise me that we see the 17 truck use fast repair.
And let's go back and take a look at that incident so that we can see what exactly happened here. So started with the 23, the 88, and the 17. Nudge to the 23 from Schaefer. Looks like he might have gotten that 23 just out of shape enough to where he just got shot down into the 88 on that straightaway.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like maybe the 47 checked up a little bit. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. It looked like the 47 might have checked up a little bit, caused Garrison to check up. Reese got into the 23 and it all broke loose there. But I don't know. I might be wrong. Obviously, I can't see what these drivers are seeing and react how the drivers are reacting, but man, that was a big one. That might have been the big one.
Yeah, that's... I just can't tell. We can go back a little bit and see if maybe he did check up there, being Jim Foskett. We'll take a look right here.
No, it kind of looked like he did, and it kind of looked like he didn't. That's hard to call, honestly.
Might have just been one of those, according to the facts, where the 23 was trying to not shove the 47 over aggressively, and the 17 just didn't know that he was to the back bumper, and kind of just looks like it stacked them up right there.
Yeah, that could be the case. I agree. But these trucks will get back going here with about 20 to go when we cross the line. And again, Oscar, I don't think these guys are going to slow down anytime soon. So I think we're in for a great run to the finish here.
Yeah, with 20 laps to go here, there's no holding back at this point. You're either gonna wreck trying to win, or you're not gonna win the race. So better get prepared and situated as we're racing once again with 20 laps to go here at EchoPark Speedway. Leading them into turn one, he's going to lead over Brock Piper and Reese Hamilton, who has now worked himself into that second position. Stoney Benfield right there in fourth position, then Jim Foskett to the outside of him on that top lane.
Three wide, Reese Schaefer making a hole, finding one, and making it 3 wide on, with leaving Jim Foskett out to dry on the top side as Justin Levine and Reese Schaefer trying to go to the front. Oh, Foskett's in the wall, and Colby Jackson around. And hard into the wall, Colby Jackson, and a caution.
Oh, and Foskett, more contact right there. And Jim, who is sitting in a decent spot, getting shuffled out to that high side, and now issues for that 47 truck and the 73 of Colby Jackson as well, who takes another hard hit to that outside wall at lap 132.
Yeah, I saw him spin before the last caution, so I'm wondering if his truck is getting harder to handle with all the damage that's been taken to it.
Well, he'll need to come down pit road and get some more damage fixed here. So, whatever damage he's already gotten, I mean, it's just unfortunately adding more onto it, and I think that one was definitely a harder hit than it probably looked like. Wouldn't be surprised if there is any sort of engine damage. We'll go back and we'll take a look at it here and try and pick that apart, see what happened with Jim Foskett here.
like it was the 8 truck of Landon Matherson there who might have caused that one.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, the 8 truck drifted up the track. Probably wasn't sure that Jim Foskett was there. Jim Foskett got in the wall, and I don't know what happened at the end there with Jim Foskett.
Yeah, that's... I'm not quite sure what happened there at the end either. That's, yeah, just... I'm not quite sure if that had to do with the arrow or not, but the truck washing up for sure. Unfortunately, collecting Jim and Colby Jackson in the process. Take a look at it one more time here.
So yeah, the 8 truck just washed up, and I don't know if Colby got loose there. It looked like Colby just got loose because Colby didn't get any contact from anyone, it looked like.
Yeah, that's a little surprising out of...
Oh no, sorry, he did get
yeah.
a little tapped a little bit by Jim Foskett. It didn't look like it was that bad.
Looks like it was, yeah, didn't look like a lot, but definitely was enough to just unfortunately send him around there.
Well, that brings out that caution. 16 laps to go. Brock Piper, Reese Schaefer, Justin Levine, Reese Hamilton, and Stony Benfield. There we go. Get it right this time. Third time's the charm. Rounding out your top 5, Landon Matherson in 6th. These guys are going to be going to the end here. Again, it's going to be a show. If you guys are still watching, stay watching, because this is going to get good to the finish of this race.
And we'll be coming to 15 laps to go when we take the green flag. So, you know, even though these laps are winding down, the aggression level has not. And with Brock Piper, who's going to be the control car here on this, I'm a little bit curious to see how this truck is going to do up front. I mean, he's been kind of about that second truck in line most of the night, and he's going to get his shot here at the front on this restart. Just moments away into the restart zone. Green flag, we're racing with 15 laps to go. Piper Schaefer leads the front lane. Levine behind Hamilton, behind Schaefer. These 4 trucks going to try and remain side by side as they head into turn 1 and 2.
Into turns 1 and 2, still side by side. Reese Schaefer. The 2 Reeses pushing each other. Reese Schaefer and Reese Hamilton, and Brock Piper and Justin Levine on the bottom of those 2. Landon Matherson jumping up top with the Reeses to see if maybe he can make a move with 15 to go.
The Reeses top side. Well, Matherson directly behind him as well, and Piper slides up in front of Schaefer to take that momentum away up top. Levine now going to be on that inside lane as Schaefer takes a look to the inside. He's going to be side by side with Piper off of 4. He's got help from behind from Levine. Will they be able to take that top spot away? They still remain in a dead heat here at the start-finish line heading into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Brock Piper had a handful there through 3 and 4. Landon Matherson was still on him, and that just made it even more of a handful for Reese Hamilton to get that truck rewound up. But he was able to do so very quickly here and regains his position in 5th spot. Now racing side by side with the 75 truck of Stony Benfield. Sorry, Derek Garrison there.
Yeah, these guys from Derek Garrison to Reese Hamilton, everybody behind him is just locked up side by side as the top three are kind of remain single file, and that 8-track of Landon Matheson, and you should notice that he has some front end damage, so that could affect as to how he pushes or how he, you know, decides on where he wants to make moves here in these next 11 laps, because being up front, that could definitely be a parachute.
Yeah, and you can see everyone kind of going around him, not wanting to push him or give him some help because of that damage. So he's going to have to be very decisive on where he goes, because I guarantee you a lot of these guys will not go with him if he makes a move.
Oh, on board with Jason Miz, and look at that handful that he has right there in turns 3 and 4. That was a heck of a save to keep that thing going straight, but that was a close call right there for this 9 truck of Jason Miz.
Yeah, and we picked the right time to go inside the cockpit with Jason Miz. It really shows you how much of a handful these trucks have been tonight throughout this race. These guys have been battling a handful of a truck. It's been loose all night long, and it's only going to get even more loose as we continue with 10 laps to go, coming to 9 laps to go. Single-digit laps, boys. You guys can make it to the end.
The Greg Biffle tribute trucks leaning off each other right here. Stony Benfield on the bottom. Right? They wash up. Joseph Kazi able to hang on to it for the moment. Able to get it going back straight again, but definitely got some damage and hit that wall, that outside wall just a bit. And it looks like Matheson may have, I'm not quite sure if that's the same damage or a little bit more damage, but what a save from Joseph Kazi right there to be able to hang on to her and avoid collecting anybody off or two that last lap.
Well, what this does is this allows the top 3 to pull away. These guys battling is only hurting them in the long run, because these top 3, Justin Levine, Reese Schaefer, and Derek Garrison, are just going to continue to pull away, as it really only takes 3 trucks to pull away from a pack, and that 4th truck of Reese Hamilton might come out too if he could get there.
Yeah, Hamilton's kind of in between these 2 packs, just kind of left alone by himself. He's going to be able to get the draft off of Garrison, and you see him suck up right there, able to get to the back bumper. So now those 4 trucks pulled away from the rest of the field, and it's not going to matter because Jason Miz is around and more trucks involved as well.
Oh, hard into the wall, Jason Miz. Wow.
Keith Shoemaker also in that as well with some front end damage. I think he hit that outside wall, and Brock Piper, another truck involved as well. So at least 3 trucks involved in this incident right here.
Yeah, and if you're Justin Levine, Reese Schaefer, Derek Garrison, Reese Hamilton, you guys are a little upset because you 4 were pulling away from the pack. And either one of those 4 could have had an easier win, but that caution gathers everything back up, and now we will see a full pack of trucks fight for a win with 6 to go.
So Jason Miz going to come down and get that some of that damage fixed from that incident. And like you said, you know, those top 4 are probably a little upset that that had to happen, but the rest of these guys are pretty excited, and this is going to give them a shot to be able to get back in this thing with just under 6 laps to go. So if you're one of the top 4 drivers, you hate to see that caution because you guys really pulled away from the rest of the field there, but the rest of the field, it's going to be a little bit chaotic for these guys on this restart, and we'll take a look at this incident here. So 3 wide off of 2, and oh, looks like Miz might have come up just a little bit.
I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. I couldn't see it any other way. It looked like maybe Miz misjudged the corner. Yeah, it's kind of what it looked like. Misjudged it. Thought he was clear, and he was not. And that just kind of caused a big incident behind him.
Yeah, I mean that's just such a tough spot to be 3 wide and coming off the exit like that. I mean I don't really put full blame on anybody here. It's just Miz might have come up a smidgen. I don't know if it looked like the 8 truck came. The 9 truck definitely came up. I'm not sure if the 8 truck came down. If any, it wasn't really any. He didn't come down that much at all, but definitely Miz just came up and might have lost the nose off that front of that race truck, honestly. I mean, I don't think he purposely was trying to do anything. I just think he lost maybe a little bit of that nose off the front end and washed up just a bit off the 2.
Yeah, I think you and I are both in agreement there, and the racing incidents are meant to happen. These things will happen in a race. So, unfortunately for Keith Shoemaker, he got caught up in that, but doesn't look like the truck is hurt too bad, which has been the theme for Keith Shoemaker in these wrecks. He'll get into a wreck, but it won't look like the truck has that much damage on her.
Yeah, which is a really good thing for the 88 so far. I mean, he's had some pretty good luck with these wrecks and has pretty much avoided a lot of what could have been a lot worse incidents on that 88 machine. And so Keith Shoemaker is sitting pretty right now for the time being. And well, Jacob, with what will be 3 laps to go off the line, this is going to be pretty intense right here.
Yeah, this is going to be a great run to the finish. 4 to go. Justin Levine and Reese Schaefer out front. These two, your 2 with wins that are locked into the next round. Derek Garrison right behind him. Jordan Berry, another one looking for a win. Garrison also looking for a win. These guys behind him are hungry for a win. So it is going to be a great watch to the finish.
Getting ready to go into the restart zone here. Green flag, we're racing once again with just 3 laps to go. Schaefer with a great restart. Derek Garrison directly behind him. Hamilton and Levine working that top side, but not much help up there for the time being. Now Schaefer's going to go up to block, and Levine has none of it. And now he's going to go to the top side, and that's going to force Schaefer to go protect the bottom as they're side by side through 3 and 4.
Side by side they go to the front straight away. Reese Schaefer, Justin Levine, and I forgot to mention Reese Hamilton is also looking for a win in these playoffs, so he wants to try and lock in as well. But the 87 truck of Austin Edstrom had that connection issue earlier on, and he has somehow made his way back up to the front. He is looking for a win as well, and even though he's not in the playoffs, but he still wants to be a spoiler here. As 2 laps to go, side by side battling. This is going to be a great run to the finish as we get to the white flag.
Beating and banging through turns 3 and 4. 3 wide behind, almost contact. Now they're 4 wide, and that's Levine flipping through the air.
Big wreck behind him. Reese Schaefer, Austin Edstrom, and Derek Garrison right there, and Landon Matherson with some damage in 3rd place right now. Stoney Benfield pushing Matherson. But we see if Reese Schaefer is going to win it at the line. Schaefer is your winner.
Schaefer is sideways across the line, but he's able to get it done. Edstrom able to come home in 2nd place, and wow, what a crazy last lap right there. And we might have to do a little bit of a checkup on Justin Levine there, because he got some air time for sure.
Yeah, he got hurt, and I will have to say, this is back-to-back weeks where I've called the white flag that 17 truck has won the race. So shout out to Reese Schaefer winning the race again here tonight. Winning a race again here tonight. Sorry, I don't think he won last week. It was Justin Levine. But the race that he won previously, I called to the finish, and he won. So congratulations to Reese Schaefer on getting another win here in the Sunday Night Showdown Series.
And this will be, I believe, his second win on the season. If I'm correct.
Yes, that is correct. I'm pretty sure that's correct.
So Schaefer coming in with these wins when he needs to and doing a great job with the victory here tonight. He's going to go ahead and continue to burn it down, and then we'll be able to speak with him in just a second. And then we'll be able to talk to some other drivers as well, so make sure you stick around here and don't go anywhere.
We watched Landon Matherson push Colby Jackson to the finish there and also hit Reese Schaefer.
So unfortunately for Schaefer, he's had a little bit he's gotten a lot of damage right there after the checkered flag was waved, but overall, I mean, he's got the win at least, so nothing to be too mad about, I think.
No, nothing to be mad about at all. It was a great run for him, and I mean, hey, he came into a race where he probably didn't expect to win because there were some better super speedway racers out there, and he got a win, so I am sure he is thrilled about that.
And let's get Reese Schaefer up here. Schaefer, congrats on the race win. That was I'd say pretty close kind of maybe flashback there from Iowa when you had what looked to be like the win, and then you weren't exactly going straight across the start and finish line, but overall you're able to finish there with the race win. Really, tell me about what it was like for you just as tonight went on and how difficult it was just trying to battle at a track like this.
Yeah, it's definitely probably one of the funnest races I've been in a long time. Just an absolute blast from start to finish. I mean, you guys saw, especially before that first stage, I mean, everybody in the field was completely sideways. It was pure chaos. I was drifting every corner, getting pushed. The motto in the chat in the Discord was, don't lift and hope for the best, and that's what we did. And it was such a fun race. It's one of those it's one of those races where it almost feels like a road course where I'm happy I'm won, but I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired. It was start to finish. We started the race, started P2, led the first couple. Then I know we had that early caution with Justin Day, and then we were out front, kind of controlling it pretty good. Honestly, I felt like I did a really good job controlling it. Being in the lead for most of the whole first half. Maybe a couple times I didn't lead it or had a couple others be in front of me, but we made a great move at the stage with the help of Miz to win the stage, and then we pitted, got those new tires, and kind of had a series of unfortunate events kind of occur. I pitted, we had a good string of cautions in the second half, and 120 I pitted and got in that one wreck, and thank God I still had my fast pair, and I was out of tires, but all the tire wear was for some reason on the left tires, not the right tires. So I'll take it because the right wear super big here. And I found a restart there. I knew Justin was gonna go high, and I had some. I texted Derek I'm gonna go right the line, and I think I'm really thankful for him. He pushed me a lot there at the end, and I made a couple good moves. We hit the white, and I was in a really confident spot. I felt really good, and I saw Austin shoot at 4, and then obviously Justin got turned, but I knew Austin and Matherson had the run because of it, because they got under Derek, and then coming at the line there, I knew he was gonna make a move, and you know, he obviously left hooked me, but I knew I had enough runway to where I was gonna make it. I was in a pretty good spot, and sure enough, I still won it. So, yeah, it was probably one of the better plate races I've ever ran. I felt like I did a really good job hanging out front all night, other than about a 20 lap window in the last 50 laps. But yeah, we battled. You know, even at the end there, I mean, if we didn't have a caution, I don't know if I would have won the race, but it was between me, Hamilton, and Justin. If anyone had last caution, we did a nice breakaway there. Really, really getting organized. So just, you know, it's amazing. This track, here we were 3 or 4 years ago. You know, they're tearing it down, or they're making a plate track, and everybody's like, you know, what are they doing? Why? This makes no sense. And 4 or 5 years later, and it's the best track on the sim. It's the best track in real life. Produces the best racing. It is honestly what we want plate racing to be. It is just pure insanity, super intense, and it has the tire wear aspect to it. So it's a big, you know, it's not just like a plate track where you just, you don't even have to worry about tires. It's when you have to strategize and make big decisions. So, yeah, it was an absolute blast. Kind of wish this was in the second round, because then I'd be advancing the championship, but it's okay. You know, keep up hopefully some good momentum going into Old Atlanta, or the same track next week. So yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I want to touch on that real quick. You said, obviously, you know, 3-4 years ago they were making this track to be what it is now, and next week we're going to the old version of this track. So you do it over again. Kind of don't get to, obviously, I wouldn't say completely different, but really very different from different tracks from what you know from what you would expect. And what really do you think you have in store for yourself for Legacy Atlanta next week?
Yeah, you know, Legacy Atlanta is one of the more unique tracks in the entire sim, and the fact that it's, you know, it's concrete. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are not nearly the same. We're probably gonna have the track temp at like 140 degrees. It's gonna be super slick, and it's gonna be another one of those tracks where, you know, saving your tires is ultimately key. But what's interesting about the truck, so I did a league race here a couple years ago. I'd say like a year and a half ago on the trucks, and it was really high lane dominant because the draft was really strong. So I think you might see a little bit the same. I think you might see guys get some air, but I think if you want track position, you're gonna have to, you know, almost like in a Michigan, where in a sense you're gonna have to stay high and keep your track position. So it's gonna be really interesting. I'm looking forward to Legacy Atlanta. I mean, I honestly haven't raced there in a long time. So, and every race I've ever done there has been super intense, really fun. So can't wait to move on to that track next week, and believe I advance in the Jordan Berry bracket, so that's always good. So yeah, I'm just, you know, trying to keep momentum up, but ultimately just trying to have fun. And I wish you guys could tune into the Discords. We were all hooting and hollering. It was so much fun. This race, I mean, the first stage was an absolute blast. It was, I mean, I hope, even though it was a good amount of cautions, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we put on a good show for you guys. So
That you guys did, and I don't think me or Jacob had any at point in the race something like we didn't have one thing that we couldn't, or that we didn't have something to at least talk about at some point in that race. So it was you guys definitely put on a heck of a show and took care of us up here. Before I let you go, is there any sponsors you'd like to thank, or anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to?
yeah, of course. I thank Mid-Michigan Milk Producers Association. They're always on the hood, and I always like supporting them. My grandpa Jack, my dad, and I always nice tribute to them. I want to thank the One Sim guys for always you know, helping me out, and always great teamwork and putting on a good show. And I want to thank my dad, my girlfriend Emily, my grandpa. They always like to tune into the races and watch them back when they can, and always love supporting me. And I'm just so thankful for the amount of support I have around me. It's racing is fun, but when you have a great support group between friends, family, and even league mates, it's just an absolute blast. And I get on here every Sunday night, and I have the time of my life. Even I can finish last every race. I have so much fun, so and that's all that matters. And I want to thank you guys, Oscar and Jacob. I can't wait to watch back the broadcast. Like I said, I probably don't sound as excited as I am, but I'm just so tired. That race took everything out of me. I know Bubba Wallace. I've talked about that in real life. How this race was just the most grueling taxing race on the calendar, just because you have to always be focused or you're gonna lose spots. So, and that's the way it is. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. Can't believe we got it done. We'll take it. Win play track's not usually what I do, so had a ton of fun, and hopefully at Old Atlanta I'll be talking to you guys again.
Alrighty, Reese. I can't wait to see you at Legacy Atlanta and what you go in this next round of the playoffs. So, congrats once again on the race win, and hopefully, like you said, we'll be able to talk to you next week.
Yep, sounds good, guys. Have a great night.
That was race winner Reese Schaefer, and we'll hear from Landon Matherson here now as well. So, Zala, I think you're standing by with Matherson, correct? Yeah.
Landon Matherson, our third place finisher here tonight, and you put on a show. I mean, you had damage at the end there on the front end, it looked like. How are you able to still finish third here tonight?
Oh, it was not easy at all. I seen Causey in my mirror, and that's who I was racing for the special event that was happening. And I seen him rolling up, and I got extremely worried. But thankfully, I don't have that happen to him. But he fell off, and I just did not let off gas. And I somehow managed to miss the wreck and finished in third, thankfully.
How would you sum up your night here overall at EchoPark Speedway? The first time we get to talk to you at all this season, a great run. How would you sum that up?
Oh man, from the beginning, just was not going my way. I had to use a quick repair in the first, felt like 20 laps, I think, and it just was not going good. But I managed to just keep it in there, come back from 2 laps down, stay in it, getting repairs when I needed to, and I made it all the way back up and just try to manage the way all around all the wrecks. And it was not easy at all. It was definitely a challenge, but thankfully, I felt like today I felt something different, and I definitely think that was what that was. It's just a little extra to get me there.
I want to know, man, how was the truck tonight, the balance of the car throughout the race? Were you guys fighting loose conditions, or was it a little bit tight? Walk me through that a little bit.
So at first it was definitely loose. If somebody was on top of you, you had to be careful, and you would spin out extremely easy. It's probably why there was a lot of wrecks. At the end there, I got it kind of tight, and I did bump into a lot of people that probably caused a few wrecks, but I wasn't trying to. It was just a really tight car, and I mean, the truck is not easy at all. The truck is very difficult, but it's just a matter of being patient and getting through whenever you can.
And what do you take away from a P3 run like this heading into next week? We're going to Old Atlanta, so we're going to this same track, but just the older version of this track. What do you take away from this finish tonight?
Oh, I'm using this to go into next week, hopefully keep the momentum going and staying in Atlanta and trying to get another win for the city.
Well, with that being said, Landon, is there anybody you would like to thank here tonight for your P3 finish before we let you go?
Oh, definitely Mr. Colby Jackson. He helped me out. He kept me in there. Got me the car. He's the one that got me in this league. So thank him a lot. And also thank Justin Levine for being there. Also thank you guys for doing what y'all do.
Well, we appreciate that, Landon, and hopefully we will be talking to you again next week at Old Atlanta. I believe Oscar will be standing by with our second place finisher, Austin Edstrom.
Yeah, I'm here. My mic is muted. I'm here with second place finisher Austin Edstrom. Almost had it there at the line. Just came up just a shy bit short, trying to make the move at the last second. What do you think really could have gone your way there in the last couple 100 feet to maybe get around Schaefer there for that win and nudge him out at the line?
Sorry if y'all heard me talking there. I was chatting with Reese actually about the whole race and the finish as well. But coming to line, man, I was just well, going into 3, I noticed I was like, okay, I'm single file. This is my best opportunity possible in second place. And the entire night, if I was in the lead, I was getting drove through. If Justin pushed me into 3, if Reese pushed me into 3, it didn't matter who it was. I was going up the racetrack to the fence. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to shove the hell out of Reese. I'm going to bumper run him. I'm going to move him up the racetrack. He's not going to wreck, and I'm going to go down on the bottom and win this thing. So I hit him probably 3 or 4 times through the middle of 3 and 4, and that freaking dude didn't budge. So I don't know what he was doing different than me, but I couldn't hold on to the car whenever I was getting hit. So he just hung on to it, and then coming off a 4, I threw a dummy to the right, gave me just a car width on the inside, but then Reese was closing that gap as we came to the kink, and I really didn't want a passing under the line penalty, or it was either that or it would come down to maybe they'd think that he forced me under because I just had my nose in there whenever I had a car width. It would have been bang, bang, and I didn't want to force a call. So I was like, we're going to make contact right here on the little apex of it, and whatever happens, happens. And I was just short again. I don't know what's going on this season. Haven't finished outside the top 5, but I can't win. So I got to figure that out.
Well, it came up so close right there, and you talk about, being so consistent, and obviously you have a limited schedule versus some of these guys, but still being able to capitalize on these race finishes and being right there at the end. And we come back to Legacy Atlanta, so basically same track, just older version here next week, and that's pretty much a different and unique style of track compared to what we raced at tonight. There's a lot less grip, and it's more, you got to be driver manageable for that type of racetrack, and I feel like that would be something that would fit into your wheelhouse, but correct me if I'm wrong there. And obviously not in the playoffs here, but still, like you said, trying to get this first win on this season, and you've been just so close so many times. And what really is that agenda like for next week?
Well, there's a little bit of good news and bad news with that one. The good news is I'm absolutely great at Atlanta. I love that racetrack. Old Atlanta was fantastic. I love the old worn out tires. I think I'd have a great chance next week. Unfortunate part is bad news. I am going to be out of the country next week. So yet again, the hit and miss schedule is hitting me next weekend. So I unfortunately won't get to be here, but I'm sure a lot of these guys will have a lot of fun.
Well, we for sure miss you on that part, and I think you might have actually told me that last time we spoke, so I completely apologize for forgetting about that. But overall, a great night for yourself tonight, and I do think you're probably very close to getting that first win, and I can't wait to see you continue out through this league and see you hopefully get into victory lane fairly shortly. Before I let you go, is there any sponsors you'd like to thank or any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Oh, I appreciate it, Oscar. No, just a big thank you to you two for coming up here and doing this race. It was a fun one behind the wheel, and I kind of so much was happening that I kept going back to the broadcast to rewatch the wrecks and see what was going on. And I imagine y'all had a fun time in the booth because we had a blast driving that thing. I'm gonna have to come back to the trucks New Atlanta combo here pretty soon because that was a lot of fun. So thanks to you guys for putting it on, and just thanks to the guys putting on the league. Bryce, big bummer for him. I know he lagged out right at the beginning, but big thanks to him and the rest of the admin team for putting this show on week in, week out. So it's a lot of fun coming around every Sunday and getting to do this.
Alrighty, Austin. Thank you for taking a minute to speak with us, and I won't keep you too much longer, and we'll see you whenever you come back.
Thanks, buddy. Catch y'all soon.
That was second place driver Austin Edstrom there, and obviously, he's been so close in so many of these races, just hasn't been able to capitalize off at the end. And again, was another example of being there at the finish, just not able to be in that top spot. And we'll miss him next week, but whenever he comes back and decides, or at least whenever he comes back and races, whether he decides to or just has the availability to show back up, it'll be an interesting time to see him and see what he can do. Before we wrap things up, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our Hard Charger Award, and that, I believe, is going to go to Derek Garrison here. 11 positions gained from 15th to finishing 4th in this 23 turn sector media truck. Big shout out to Hard Charger, or the Hard Charger Award being sponsored by Wraps by JB. They do custom design designs and paint schemes for everyone in every style, so make sure you check them out. They always represent good in this league. They have a few beautiful paint schemes out there on track each and every week, so if you need a paint scheme, go to them. We'll go ahead and take a look at this race results here as well. Reese Schaefer, obviously with the race win. Austin Edstrom right there, just not able to get his nose out in front at the line. Then we got Landon Matheson finishing third, Derek Garrison, Stoney Benfield. Those are your top 5. Then Keith Shoemaker with a really decent finish there in 6th position. Benfield as well in 5th. So those two drivers, 5th and 6th, able to round out tonight with a good finish. We'll see where the points show them at. And then we have Reese Hamilton, Joseph Kazi, Aaron Kay, and Jordan Berry rounding out the top 10.
And after that, in 11th, Justin Levine getting caught up in that wreck at the end. Finishing 11th. 12th, Kobe Jackson, 1 lap down. 13th, Brock Piper, 1 lap down as well. And then 14th, Jason Mays, 6 laps down. In 15th, Bryce Shoemaker, 13 laps down. Unfortunate day for him with the connection issues. Fortunately, taking him out of this race early. In 16th, Jim Foskett. And rounding out our field in 17th, Austin Day, 29 laps down.
It'll be pretty interesting here to see who made it in, because after looking at that, obviously Justin Day more than likely not going to advance. Bryce Shoemaker more than likely not going to advance either. Then Jim Foskett also probably not going to advance. So it would be coming down to Keith Shoemaker, Reese Hamilton, and I believe Derek Garrison might be a part of that as well. We'll have to wait for it. Might be Jordan Berry actually. So I'm not quite sure if we'll be able to get to that tonight, but there's a few. Honestly, it's just going to be depending on that one transfer position, since 3 of the 4 guys below the cutoff line had early issues. And like you said just moments ago, Justin Day obviously with the worst finish out of those drivers in that final in 17th position. Going on to next week, we are back at Atlanta, Legacy Atlanta here next week. Same time, same place as always. I don't really have anything more else to add here. Do you, Zala?
Well, I guess, Oscar, we're going to have to ready the hotel room for Atlanta, as we will we'll be staying here for a little while. But with that being said, I think we're in for an exciting race at Legacy Atlanta. I'm looking forward to seeing maybe some tire wear, maybe some more fuel strategy, some decent racing at Legacy Atlanta. With that being said, that's all I've got. I think we're going to see some exciting racing next week as well. And that's about all I got.
All right, and that's all I got. So as long as we're ending out without needing to add anything more, then we are good. And thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm Oscar Jensen, joined by Jacob Zolli here on Turn Sector Media from tonight's coverage of the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series at EchoPark Speedway, which I will never get used to saying, but it's a little bit of a tongue twister. We will see you guys next week here from Legacy Atlanta. Again, that same time, same place here on Turn Sector Media, and we'll see you guys next week.
execute. Start time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight. Between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction. Side by side.
Hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the
What
line.
a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next lap is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody's pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Run here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.